Jane Grey was not a queen, and we shouldn't call her one. Jane Grey, also known as the 9 Days Queen, as depicted here in this portrait, was the cousin of Mary I and Elizabeth I. She was also in line in Henry VIII's will of succession, after Mary I and Elizabeth, of course, and when Edward VI died, he skipped over both his sisters under the pretense that they were illegitimate and therefore unworthy of ruling, and he went straight for Jane Grey, claiming her his successor. This was of course a massive political manipulation. If you're interested to find out more, you can read my book, The Puppet King, which is all about Edward VI's life and how he was manipulated into most things. But going back to Jane Grey did not want the crown. Her father, Henry Grey, and John Dudley, who was Edward VI's president of the council, concocted this plan to put her on the throne instead of the Catholic Mary, who should have been Edward VI's successor, according to Henry VIII's will. Edward VI's council, being of course heavily Protestant, did not want Catholicism to return, which is why they brought in Jane. They forced her to marry John Dudley's son, Guildford Dudley, and without her consent or even her knowledge, they concocted this plan to make her queen. She was brought to the Tower of London and basically told, "You are now the queen," according to Edward VI's final will and testament. Jane Grey was very intelligent, and she knew that the people would not stand for this. She knew Mary would not stand for this, and she made it quite clear that she did not want this. To her father, to John Dudley, to her husband, to everyone. But did they listen? Of course not. Then Mary I, of course, entered London. She took back the city. The people wanted her on the throne, as was her right. And the little support Jane Grey had dispersed into the wind. Mary kept Jane in the tower. She tried to save her, but unfortunately Henry Grey, Jane Grey's dad, entered into a rebellion called the Wyatt's Rebellion in an effort to get the throne back to either Jane or even Elizabeth I, and all because they didn't want a Catholic queen on the throne. Unfortunately, this then led to Jane Grey's execution. Jane Grey was in communication with Mary and even swore that she never wanted the crown, she had no part in this plot, and Mary I believed her. So again, we have evidence that she claims she never wanted the throne, and yet we call her the 9 Days Queen, and there are even people who say she should be down as the first Queen Regnant of England. Never mind the fact that she never actually had a coronation, that she actually never even ruled. But the biggest issue I have with that is that Jane Grey never even wanted the throne. And to claim that she should be remembered as something she never wanted, what she died for, I find that disrespectful. Why would we want to remember her as such? She never wanted the crown. Leave the girl alone. She wanted to just be Lady Jane Grey. No doubt she had plans for her future, which we will never know of, but they did not include becoming Queen of England. And to try and give her that title in death, it's disrespectful to what she wanted in life.